Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into classic philosophical work that redefines how we approach truth, ideas, and decision making. Pragmatism by William James. This is not your typical philosophical book. Instead of getting bogged down by abstract concepts, James presents a practical, down to earth philosophy that can be applied to everyday life. If you have ever wondered how to make better decisions or how to think about truth in a more useful way, this one is for you. So let's break down the key lessons from this groundbreaking work. Stick around till the end. I promise this is going to be an eye opener. William James kicks things off by explaining what pragmatism actually means. In simple terms, it is all about using practical consequences to guide your understanding of truth. James says that instead of asking, "Is this true?" we should ask, "What difference will this idea make in my life?" For example, think about a scientific theory. If it leads to successful experiments or practical results, it is true in the pragmatic sense. It's not about abstract perfection. It is about the results that matters in the real world. In this chapter, James introduces what he calls the pragmatic method. He says that when faced with a question, you should focus on the practical effects of potential answer. Take for example a debate about a new technology. Instead of arguing about abstract ideals, we ask, how will this technology change people's lives? What will it actually do? This approach shifts the focus away from the theoretical arguments and brings us to the real world impact. It's a method that encourages us to think about what works and what is useful. Now, let's talk about the truth. James argues that truth is not something that exists out there, waiting to be discovered in an ideal form. Instead, truth is what works in practice. Imagine trying out a new method of cooking. If it makes your food taste better and your guests happy, and that method is true in the pragmatic sense. Truth for James is always about its practical effects and how it benefits our lives. It is not fixed. It evolves with our experiences and the results. One of the most powerful ideas in pragmatism is the will to believe. James argues that we don't always have concrete evidence to make a decision, but we still have to make the choices. He talks about how sometimes we need to take a leap of faith, whether in a religion, love, or business. These beliefs might not be backed up by hard facts, but they work for us practically. They give us direction, motivation, and purpose. So, the next time you are unsure about something, ask yourself, does this belief make my life better, even if I don't have absolute proof? James emphasizes the importance of personal experiences in shaping our beliefs. He argues that our understanding of truth is rooted in what we have lived through and what we have learned from it. For example, if you have had a series of positive experiences with a certain product, you like believe that it is good, based on your personal history, not on some abstract theory. Truth, for James, is a product of our experiences. What works for us becomes true for us. Pragmatism is not just about theory, it is about taking action. In this chapter, James talk about applying pragmatism thinking to everyday decisions. This chapter, Pragmatism in Action. He gives this example of how we approach religion, ethics, and even politics. Instead of relying on rigid doctrines, pragmatists focus on what works. They ask, does this belief make him life better? Does it lead to more happiness or progress? For example, if a government policy leads to better education or healthcare, it is a pragmatic success, regardless of political affiliation. To wrap it up, Pragmatism by William James teaches us to focus on what works, to embrace flexibility, and to understand that Truth is not something out there waiting to be found. It is something we create through our experiences and actions. It is a philosophy that encourages us to make decisions based on their practical outcomes and to take ownership of our beliefs, even if they are not backed by absolute evidence. So, what is your take on pragmatism? How do you use practical consequences to guide your beliefs? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe for more philosophical breakdowns, and share this with someone who could use a little more pragmatism in their life. Until next time, remember the truth is what works for you in the real world.